Hello, and welcome to Life of a Boss, the podcast, hosted by entrepreneur, public speaker, and mentor, Miaseen Hardin. This podcast is all about helping audiences create and reach their own definition of success through positive thinking, perseverance, and personal development. Having survived extreme obstacles from an early age, such as cancer, poverty, abuse, family dysfunction, and even homelessness, Miaseen has learned how to master the art of resilience and defy all odds to become the boss he is today. So, get ready for some serious game and remember to keep an open mind. Now, without further delay, here is your host, Miaseen Hardin.
Thank you, and hello, this is Miaseen Hardin, and welcome back to another wonderful episode of Life of a Boss, the podcast all about helping people create and live their own definition of success through positive thinking, perseverance, and personal development. Today we have a wonderful show because we have a very good friend of mine. I've known this brother over 25 years. We played football together. And he's just a great dude. He's been an entrepreneur for as long as I've known him, since after high school, but he's into a bunch of other great and amazing things, and I knew he would be a great and amazing guest because he would have so much to tell you and so many gems to drop, and he's just an all-around good dude. And his name is Fred Tatlyan. Fred?
Yeah. What's going on, Jason? How you doing, bro?
Man, I'm good, man, and I'm so glad you are here with us today because there are so many things I want to ask you, man. How are you feeling today, first of all?
I'm feeling great, bro. You know, every day is just, some days you're tired, some days you're not, but you get up every day and you just keep pushing forward and do what you got to do for that day.
Man, spoken like a true boss. But for those that don't know, man, Fred Tatlyan is the CEO and creator of Goliath Graphics. He is also working with Miaseen Organization and also been involved with a very compelling and provocative documentary called 45 Days, Fight for a Nation. I got so much I want to talk to you about, but we're going to work our way backwards. So first,
and Goliath whiskey.
And man, I was gonna get there too. man, we can't forget that. We are definitely not gonna forget Goliath whiskey. But yeah, let's work our way backwards from the film. The film is one of your most recent projects. Tell us a little bit about the film and your involvement in it.
Right. So the film is a documentary, and my involvement in it is just as a supporting person to the people that created it. Right. Mm-hmm. I'm not the director, and I'm not the producer or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So basically, it documents what happened in Armenia this last year. Right. And what was happening is our neighbor Azerbaijan pretty much came in and just colonized us. Basically did what the colonizers did to the Native Americans. Coming onto our indigenous lands. Slaughtering, droning the shit out of us, right? Mm-hmm. I'm talking about just droning. I mean, we lost a whole generation of young men. It was horrible. The world was silent, and it's an all too familiar story, right? All kinds of crazy stuff are happening in the world, and the world is just silent. So there was this British ex-Royal Marine, a British guy that turned into a conflict journalist. So he ended up going to Armenia and captured all kinds of footage there while he was there on the front lines and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And so the footage he got was really, really good stuff. And so one of my good friends, Asko Agopian, by the way, the journalist's name is Emil Gesson. One of my good friends, Asko Agopian, who's a producer, saw the footage and he thinks he could, he saw the vision of taking it, putting some funding behind it, and give it this really good Hollywood A-list quality to it, right? Because we want mainstream audiences to watch this. We don't want it to go straight to YouTube. The whole point is we need the world to know what's going on. We need the world to see, and so we want it to be on the Netflix's playlist. We want it to be on the Amazon Prime, and so Osco took it and brought in the funding. I helped raise funds along with other people, help promote it. Just helping do the marketing, advertising aspect of it to get the word out, to get people to come and watch it in movie theaters, at the screenings, the releases, and also During all of this, I was very active as an activist, which I never had been before, but because of the war, I turned into somewhat of an activist. So I had a couple of protests that I was leading, and so I'm featured in there a couple of times too. When they focus on the protests that were happening in the U.S. here for what was happening over there, and so yeah, now the film 45 Days documentary. They're submitting it for the Oscars.
Oh wow!
For Oscar consideration. So hopefully, I don't know. We just submitted it, so we'll find out in the next, month.
How can people watch that film right now?
Right now,
I know you guys just had a screening at the Groman's Chinese Theater. I think it's called the Man's Chinese Theater, but that's an awesome venue. You guys had a week-long screening, like 2 weeks or something? It was something amazing.
No. It was just one night, bro. Those screenings
really?
at the Chinese Theater is like a one-night only type of thing. But right now, I believe in a week or so, it's going to be showing for a week in North Hollywood. What is that movie theater? Lamel's?
Lemley?
We have one in Pasadena, the Lamel's theaters.
I think it's Lemley.
Yeah, Lemley. There you go. Yeah, it's going to be featuring there. 45 Days in North Hollywood at Lemley. So I would urge anyone to go watch it. And it's crazy, man.
What's the date?
The last year has been crazy. I believe it's next week, or maybe it's after Thanksgiving. Actually. It's right after Thanksgiving.
Okay, and what were you about to say before that?
I was gonna say, man, this last year, bro, it's been a crazy time, man, for Armenians. There's not many of us in the world. There's 10 million worldwide. There's not much of us. The second largest population outside of the first largest population outside of Armenia is here in LA.
That's awesome. And I'm gonna tell you, I never knew what Armenians were until I moved to Pasadena. To be honest with you, I've never heard of Armenian, the culture, the country, the people, until I moved to Pasadena. So that's one thing that I really appreciate about this city, for introducing me to another culture that I tend to love. I've never had an Armenian friend that I didn't really was real cool with. And I just appreciate what I have gained in knowledge and in just meeting the first Armenian person I ever knew. And there was probably so many before that were like, because there's some celebrities and whatnot, and like Kevorkian. That was probably like the most famous Armenian, and I didn't know that he was Armenian. Seriously, I didn't know what that term was. And really, it comes back to there was a girl I met in freshman year at Pasadena High School, and I didn't know what she was. She was beautiful, and I had to ask them, like, what is she? Is she Hispanic? And they said, no, she's Armenian. And that was the very first time I heard that word. And I appreciate it, and I feel stupid now, because it's like, having been in Pasadena in the Southern California area since, it's like, how did I ever not know these people? How could I not know them? Like Asians or Chinese or Hispanics. Like, how did I not know about Armenians? And it's just such a second nature and knowledge now, but before it wasn't. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, it's been, LA, Pasadena specifically, man. One thing I've learned, after I went to college and just explored the world and did, my thing outside of Pasadena, I realized, and I became really grateful for Pasadena, because Pasadena is a really unique city, man. There's really not any other city like it in terms of the diversity it has.
Seriously,
seriously. The level of diverse cultures that we have here, and no one is like, how should I say, like, there are no superior, inferior type of cultures, right? It's like this really like utopia kind of city where it's like, all these cultures are just together mingling, and everyone's equal, everyone's on the same plane, and everyone's getting along, everyone respects each other, and it's just a great vibe here. My upbringing in Pasadena, I attribute a lot of my success in life, the things I've accomplished, just to growing up here with the friends I had, the experiences I've had. It really opens your eyes, man, when you grow up with different cultures,
Absolutely.
A lot of people, when they grow up in a bubble, when they only grow up with their own culture, let's say, for example, there's Armenians that only grow up with Armenians, right? Or black people that are only around black people, or Mexicans that only grow up around Mexicans.
Yeah.
you don't ever learn how to interact with. You get uncomfortable in situations when you're not around your culture anymore. When you're not around your people.
And we're all about being
you don't know how to get
uncomfortable. There's value in being uncomfortable. And just like you, I was not born and raised to a certain degree in Pasadena, and I knew you actually come from Armenia, and that's awesome because I didn't know that when I met you in high school. So it's amazing how people from other places come and call Pasadena home and really own it, and I'm one of those people from the Bay Area. You're one of those folks from Armenia, but you came here and you found a home because I think the same thing as you is like you're able to be yourself. I come from places where I always had to imitate, or I felt like I always had to fit in. Pasadena was one of the first places I've ever moved to where I felt like I can just be me, and that's either accepted or not. But it's not ridiculed. It's not like I come from a place that seemed like Saved by the Bell. There were the popular kids, and then there was everybody else that was getting crapped on. And Pasadena, everybody could be themselves, and they were popular in their own lane. There was no one standard that we held everybody to, and that's why I found home here. For the same reasons you did, it was just like a melting pot where you can really be you, but still interact and comfortably be in other circles and meet other people.
Now, that's a great point you just brought up there, because when I went to go play football at UC Davis, I had a real hard time adapting to the culture at UC Davis, and I wish I had a mentor, right? This goes back to not having a mentor. This goes back to being, I'm a refugee, right? My status is a refugee, but let's just say immigrant, right? That comes back to being immigrant, having parents that didn't grow up here, didn't play football, don't understand the dynamics of things, right? So growing up in the Pasadena environment, going onto the football field, now they got this whole upperclassmen, freshmen, all this dynamic going on, like hazing the freshman type of thing. Like, we went to Pasadena, there's none of that here. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like you either handle yours or you don't. There's no we just got to deal with, being messed up a little bit just because you're fresh.
Unnecessary politics.
Yeah, but it's part of the game, right? It's part of the game. I wish I had a mentor to tell me so I won't take it serious, right? Because I took it as disrespect. And so I was getting in fights all the time. Like, man, these dudes are testing me,
Yeah.
Like, who do you think I am? And so I was constantly getting into fights. And it wasn't until I was older where I was like, man, they're just, just some good old, freshman hazing, It
was exactly. Serious. It was like, that's nothing.
There's nothing. But, coming from here, bro, people test you like that. Like, man, so you got to, kind of, what's the word? You got to hold your own.
Yeah,
that mentality of Pasadena. Like, if you don't, you're a punk.
Exactly. And so especially if you think it's that situation. And then when you're young, you think almost any situation is that situation.
Especially from Pasadena, right?
Exactly.
Again, the whole Pasadena thing is like, it doesn't matter, man. You freshman, senior, it doesn't matter. Like, you got to be able to hold your own.
Yeah.
If you're a freshman, you're holding your own. You got the respect for the seniors. There's no you're a freshman, so you're just gonna have to deal with it.
So
part of that, and then part of the whole joking structure. The way they joke around. I wasn't. I got into a couple fights like that with my teammates. But anyway, the point is though, I understand that dynamic with the popular kids and all that. That the kind of dynamics you see on TV wasn't at PHS. And then when I went to UC Davis, it was there. And it took me a while to adjust.
But you got your degree.
Oh, yeah, I got my degree. They did the fraternity. I pushed for a fraternity. I'm in a fraternity. Played football for 2 years. Started my business there.
Another question.
While I was a student.
Okay, you got your degree in... Well, before we get into this... the Miaseen Organization. You do a lot of marketing and advertising for the Miaseen Organization. What is that exactly?
Oh, okay. So it's Miaseen, and that means together in Armenian.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and it means together. And it's a nonprofit that was born during the war that I just was talking about this last year.
Mm-hmm.
And what we have people in Armenia, and so what we do is we raise funds here. and then we send the funds to the people that we have in Armenia, and they go to the homes of the families that lost a soldier, because usually they're the breadwinner of the family and whatnot.
Yeah,
and so, they have no means of living, surviving. A lot of the people got displaced. So, we had about like 50,000 people that got pushed out of their homes, became homeless overnight. Bro, people were like burning their homes after they left it because they didn't want the Azeris living in their home.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, see, that's why I wanted to bring it up.
It's a documentary, man.
Exactly. Man, that's why I wanted to bring it up, because I think that just so many people just don't know what's happening. And I want to say that we all have struggles, and some people don't know the magnitude of some of those struggles. And I think
Jason, man, let me tell you something, bro. Let me tell you something, man. This last year, bro, it was like nothing I've ever felt before, right? It was like you're feeling like a real existential threat to you and your people. Like, I don't know how to describe that, bro. Like, you're really facing this threat where you feel like you're about to go extinct. Like, they're doing a whole nother genocide.
Wow.
No one cares. And then, so I'm going day and night, not sleeping some days. I'm not exaggerating. Day and night, not sleeping. All right. Keeping people informed. I became a pretty, almost, without trying to sound pretentious or anything, I became a pretty important part of the community, with the activism, the fundraising, doing all kinds of stuff. And the
awareness, I'm sure.
I'll stay up with the awareness, exactly. So I was doing this day and night, bro, like literally not leaving my office and all this stuff. And then every now and again, I would have to leave that Armenian bubble and do something normal, right?
Yeah.
And it's the craziest feeling, man. It's the craziest feeling when you step out of that bubble. And then you like looking at people walking by, and it's like, it hits you like they don't even fucking know what's going on. Like, these people are just like, no one knows. I'm over here struggling for my life. Like, I'm like crying by myself at night, and no one knows what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, no one knows what's going on. It's this craziest feeling.
It's crazy because, like, that's so familiar in the Black culture and struggle, and
exactly. I know you guys relate 100%.
And it's so crazy because what I'm saying is we don't relate to our Armenian brothers and sisters because we don't know, and that's why I like to bring this stuff out, because I think if we understood what we have in common in struggles and whatnot, we can do a lot more together and be a lot more inclusive in our different fights and struggles, because we don't want to forget anybody, but we don't know. I to a certain degree, I think everybody knows about the Black struggle, and that can be very untrue. You know what I'm saying? Just like you say, I step outside of that Black bubble, and I'm just a regular person, and everybody's just interacting cool and fine, and some people don't even know what I just stepped away from. They don't even see that people are fighting for their lives against people that live and work for the city.
Oblivious.
The
luxury of being oblivious.
Yeah, city employees and people that are supposed to protect us. So it's sad how little we know about the struggles of others, because it can create, just like you said, that togetherness, that unity, that melting pot of strength. And that's why I wanted to talk about this, because I didn't know about so much. Seriously, I had no idea about like the recent turmoils and struggles. And sometimes, we think we have a few Armenian friends that we know the struggle. We're always talking about, 1917 and we're always
1915.
We're always thinking about history, and we don't realize what we're going through every single day. And sometimes we get caught up in our own struggles and don't see the next person's struggle. So,
because we don't want to step outside of our comfort zone.
Yeah,
right? It's a natural human thing. We don't want to step outside of our comfort zone. We're comfortable, and it's a big ask to ask someone like, "Hey, look, I know you're comfortable, but will you be uncomfortable for me?"
You know what?
You know what I
mean?
You
hit it right there, because some of us won't step out of our discomfort, because you said comfort zone, but some of us are like caught up in our own discomfort, and that becomes our comfort zone. Like we get caught up in our Black struggle, and we can't think of nothing past that. Like, hold on, there's somebody else struggling and we don't see it. you know, and we don't even address it. But sometimes you have to step out of your issue and see that there's other issues and bigger issues out there. So, and not to say one is bigger than the next, but it's that having that vision and giving yourself the opportunity to see someone else's pain.
Bro, exactly. And you know, a lot of times, and what I've heard, because, you know, I growing up, bro, like, you know, I pretty much grew up in the Black community. Yeah. You know, I've seen a lot of the struggles firsthand. I was a part of it a lot of times.
I know you've seen it, because I know the kids you grew up around.
Yeah. Bro, man, you remember my car? I had a white Benz in high school. And, bro, anytime I was riding around in that car and I got the boys in the car, I was getting pulled over every time. I knew what was happening. We all knew what was happening. We get pulled over, get out of the car, sit on the curb, search the car. You know, all that stuff. Yeah. Like, I was there. It was doing it. You know, like, bro, I'm an adult now. I'm an adult with 4 kids. I see a cop, I still get nervous.
Man.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, that's
and I'm like tripping, like, why am I getting nervous right now? Like, why am I getting nervous?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just been, like, programmed in me. Anyway, the point of the matter is, right, I've seen both worlds. I had to live growing up, I lived in 2 worlds.
Yeah.
You know? And that gave me a unique perspective on things, right? Because I became like an ambassador for each side to the other side. You know, when I'm around my Armenian peeps, you know, and you know how it is, no one wants to see anything outside their own culture. And I'm like, no, man, look, listen, Black people, they're going through this, they're going through that. It's very similar, you know, preaching that. And then on the other side, you know, when I'm with my Black friends and stuff, I'm telling them what we're going through.
That's
like,
awesome.
Kind of like what we're doing right now, you know.
That has to be, I know
ultimately,
go ahead.
And you know, and it always comes down, like, there's always the sentiment, like, well, why should we care? They didn't care. Okay. Like, where were they when we were doing this? Okay. Which is a fair thing, but it's like, if we keep having that kind of mentality, we're not going to go anywhere.
Anything. Yeah, it doesn't solve the problem.
Someone has to be the first to be like, yo, look, I'm coming out. What do you need? You know what I mean? To be that first one, and to be an example. That's what, you know, to go back to your thing, that's what it means to be a boss. I prefer to use the word leader.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's what it takes. You got to lead by example. That's what it's about.
And you got to be willing to be uncomfortable, because that's what growth is. There is no growth and there is no greatness in your comfort zone. I say that all the time, but it's just so true.
100%.
Okay, now back no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, just in this last year, bro, I broke through so many of my comfort zones. You know, I led protests, bro. I've never held a megaphone in front of a massive amount of people leading a protest in my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you know what's funny?
I'm like, looking at
I never knew that about you. You know, and I guess, like I said, it's from my own ignorance and not knowing the struggle and the recent war and what's happening on that end. You know, we see a little bit of protest and we see some news, but like you said, with the news, it's so whitewashed. It's so watered down. So we never get to really see what's really happening until you talk to somebody who is really directly impacted. You know, and you are directly impacted, and that's why I think this is so informative to not just me, but the audience as well, because we're not seeing the ways that we connect. You know, and just like you say, being a boss is all about growth, and this is part of growth. Understanding the struggles of the next person so we can communicate them. So we can communicate with each other. Exactly. Exactly. And if we don't think that, if we can't feel for someone else, then we'll never connect with that person. And then it's easy to hurt somebody else if you can't feel what they're feeling. That's how I feel.
Yep. No, that's really what it comes down to. You got to have empathy. And if you don't have empathy and if you can't put yourself in a position and be able to see the world through their eyes, then we're all doomed, bro. Like, we're all doomed. Plain and simple. And we're seeing that right now in the world, man. All I see is division, bro. You know, there's on every level some kind of division happening, you know, even among people of the same, like, culture. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
They start these small little subgroups start forming and tribalism and all this stuff. And it's just, and it's happening in my culture, and it's painful to see. And I'm trying to fight against it, but
what do you think the best tool against division is? Because as you can see, it's happening on so many levels, whether it be race, whether it be wealth against poverty, whether it be vaccine versus unvaccinated. Like, what do you see is like a part of the solution for unity, for that together, for that Miaseen?
Proper
communication.
Stuff comes down to miscommunication. Mm-hmm. You know, not understanding one another, not really listening to one another. You know, and that's really what it comes down to, man. We've lost the ability to listen because we want to be heard. And unless somebody starts listening, somebody's got to be the leader, right? Somebody's got to be the boss, as you're saying, and be the one to be like, I'm listening. And then that person then sees how you're listening and learns how to listen. And they in turn pay it forward to the next person and listen. And it keeps growing like that. But it always has to start with someone.
It starts with
someone. Someone has to swallow their pride. You have to swallow that pride, bro. You have to swallow the ego. You know?
You're not lying.
You have to kill the ego.
One thing I wanted to kind of like, I guess, bring this to a close is you use what you do for business. You use your talent and your gift, marketing, graphics, and whatnot, to create awareness. And you brought that into your nonprofit life. Did you always know that was applicable? Did you figure out like what can I do, and then figured out like, oh man, I do this. Let me do this for you. Like, I want to get more of our people and audience to think that, or to believe that what they do can always be
matters.
And can always be a tool or a weapon against whatever you want to fight against. So you found that
100%.
You use exactly
100%.
like your talent to do exactly what you think the solution is in getting people together. So how did you put that together, and how can someone else put that together?
Well, it wasn't a conscious thought. It was just like, I can do this. You know, here's the thing that I saw a need. I can do this. You know, pretty much, you know, people were asking me, like, how'd you end up here?
Yeah.
Like, I was, you know, like how'd you go, you know, how are you such a, you know, an important part of the community now? How are you so involved with all these different things? And
how are you so relevant?
My short answer.
Yeah.
It's not pretentious, man, you know, but I'm trying to give insight. You know, I hate talking about this because I don't think of myself as some like big shit or nothing. You know what I mean?
But it's
and I
true,
don't want to give off that vibe, you know. But look, here's the thing, though. Here's my short answer to that question, because I get asked that a lot. Like, how'd you end up here? You know? And I'm like, I just never said no. That's really what it was. I saw something. Someone needed something. I got you. I'm gonna figure it out. What do you need? I got it. All right, I'm going to go find this for you. What do you need? You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. That is
what
awesome.
I did. That's all I did, bro. I just did not say no to nothing. I was like, I'll figure it out. All right? I'll figure it out. I was completely confident in my abilities to get the job done, whatever it may be. If I didn't know it, I knew how to figure it out or find someone that can help me get it done.
See, now that is boss shit. Literally, that is the boss mentality to have. And because seriously, because I tell folks all the time, like, giving back is just as easy as doing what you naturally do. And you know, and if you naturally solve problems, if you naturally figure it out, then you can do the world for yourself as well as for someone else. And that's why I tell people, like, to really deep dive into who they are, because like I said, you did the graphics thing and all that. You found that as a way to sustain you. And correct me if I'm wrong, but you found that as like more of a career path and something you did for a job. But when a problem happened, you didn't like run to something else. You didn't like just write a check. You was like, how can I give back every day? And this is what I do every day. And you put one and two together. And I just want to say that that's the value of entrepreneurship. It's not what we do for money. It's really what we can do for someone else. Being our own bosses, having our own company, having our own skills that we totally market and build value with, and it helps people become relevant. People don't realize how relevant they become by giving, just by giving. And I'm pretty sure a lot more people know about Goliath because of his giving nature than just by what you were doing for business and advertising. You know, I'm pretty sure that
100%.
Your name has
100%.
Has blown up, from giving, but also your business names have more recognition because of the giving. And I don't think enough people understand that. See, just
Bro,
like you.
let me, here, I'm gonna put it in a way they understand. I'm gonna put it in a way they understand.
Please.
You know, right now, like like I said, during this whole thing this last year, that's all I was doing, and I was like trying to be as useful. I was like, use me. You know what I mean? I was just telling people, use me. What can you use me for? And bro, my own people coming back with, Fred, how can we help you? I would get that question so much, like, what business are you in? How can we support you? How can we support you? Like, bro, and that's not why I did it, right?
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that became a byproduct of what happened.
Absolutely.
Right? It's a seed you plant. It's whatever you plant and whatever you water, that's what's going to grow. If you planted that givingness, that, hey, let's help each other without strings attached, right?
And I
people
bet
gonna
you
reach out to you, bro. Like, I got people I don't even know reaching out to me and offering me all kinds of shit. It's just crazy. It's just craziness. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I bet
It's
you
crazy.
no matter what happens from now on, you're not going to turn that off, are you? Like, that doesn't just turn
No,
off,
I
does
can't.
it? Like you're not going to
you
say,
can't
okay,
turn it
well,
off.
our problem is solved. I'm not an activist no more. I don't, back to business. Like, you are going to be involved from now on, I'm pretty sure, to some degree. To
No, that's been the
whatever
struggle.
degree.
No, that's 100%. Yeah. No, I would feel like a fraud if I stopped.
Absolutely.
I
like,
wouldn't be able
you
to
found
stop.
yourself. So did you find another piece of yourself in activism?
Yeah. No, I found something I didn't even know
Existed.
I had, or I did, or it was a part of me.
Wow.
I've grown a lot in the last year. I've learned, one of the key things I've learned is to trust myself. We doubt ourselves so much, man. We go, man, what, my opinion doesn't matter. What I got to say doesn't matter. There's like smarter people.
Who
and
am
then you
I?
sit back and you're watching
Exactly.
like, yeah, who am I? And then you're watching these people and you're like, man, no, like, no. And then you speak up and then you realize like people resonate with what you're saying. Like, damn, maybe what I say does matter. Maybe maybe I'm better than I thought, or, you know what I mean? You just learn to trust your gut.
Exactly.
I learned to just trust my gut. Like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to trust my gut. Believing in yourself, right? It's cliche. It sounds cliche, man, but that's the key. That's the key. Believing in yourself.
Absolutely.
If you believe in yourself, man, you can do whatever. And it sounds corny. It sounds cliche. You hear it over and over again, but
it's just like the saying.
to believe in yourself means you have to break years and years of negative voices and negative visions and, and negative upbringing.
That's where the work comes in. Because the work doesn't really come with the actual change. It comes with your mentality, changing that thought process first. And I totally appreciate that you said that, because that's what it is. It starts upstairs. It's not about what you have, because just like you said, if you're resourceful, you'll always have enough resources. But if you're not resourceful, you'll never have enough. You'll always need something else. I need more money. I need more time. I need more. But if you're resourceful, you'll find everything you already got.
One.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
You'll find an excuse if you're looking for one.
Man, and you'll find a problem if you're looking for one, too.
Exactly.
Any last words of advice for folks really trying to live their own definition of success? Because I see that you do it. You literally have not just figured out how to make money and sustain yourself as a family and as a business, but you figured out how to find that passion. You found passion in that struggle. It's sad to say that that it took like tragedies and a war and that to happen for you to find this passion, but you found it and it came from adversity. How can someone else find them within adversity? Do you have any advice? Is it something you can teach?
Man, have a winning attitude, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have a winning attitude, like be a winner, and let me try and put this in a non-corny way.
Yeah.
A winning attitude means that you believe no matter what, you're going to win, because that's what you do. You win. And when you have that kind of attitude, you have hope. And with hope, anything is achievable. Anything is possible. And let me tell you this one experiment that was done on rats real quick. All right, they put these rats in these tubes that were filled up with water. Okay, they dropped them in the tubes, and then they measured how long they'll swim before they die, before they drown. Okay, because they can't get out of the tube. All right, they measured them, and they came up with their times. So then they dropped the next group of rats in these tubes. And right when they felt like these rats were giving up and they're about to just let go and drown, they put like a stick down there so they can climb up out. All right. And then they did it again to the same group. That same group held on, kept swimming almost, like some of them almost 60 times longer.
They had that hope.
Hope.
That's incredible. That's incredible. They had the hope that something would come and save them, so they kept going. And I think that's really it, man. You have to believe that something's going to change. But if you don't believe something's going to change, then it's easy to give up.
You quit.
Yeah, it's easy.
You quit.
It's easy to stop treading that water and sink to the bottom.
Yep.
But yeah, that is so incredible, and that is what I guess that I want our audience to have is hope and to know that they have value, because that's one thing that you found out too, that you have more value than just the money you're creating, the father that you are, the husband that you are. You have a value to a nation. And I don't know if you had that before 2 years ago. And that's crazy because you're already a success. You know, you're already a boss. I can say you already had the qualifications to say you got your shit together, but what you found over the last couple of years has turned you into the person you are today, which also lets me know that it's never too late to do better or to level up and to reach another level that you never thought or even seen. And I would guess that you would never go back.
No, you can't. You can't. It's a mindset. You can't go back. Every day, man, just, change 1%. Get 1% better.
Man.
1% better. Don't try and do everything overnight. Just 1% better. Like I'm going to do this one thing better. And then do something else the next day. By the time you know it, man, you've changed, 100%.
Yeah, after 100 days. But that's awesome, man. That really is the way to think, because I think a lot of people try to change everything at once, and it just doesn't work that way. I mean, it's hard.
And you set yourself up for failure.
And then
you're not going to see the results you want.
Exactly, and you drive yourself more into a rut or a depression because you failed again. And just like you said, you set yourself up for that failure by trying to change everything when you only need to change just one thing, one piece, 1%.
And let me tell you this. Hey, listen to this though. People do it subconsciously on purpose to fail, so that they can then lie to themselves and say, well, I tried. It didn't work out.
To give it that half-ass I tried?
It's not a half-ass I tried, right? They put such crazy, high, unrealistic expectations.
Yeah.
I'm going to, let's say, when it comes to, like, let's say losing weight, I'm going to lose, 50 pounds in a month. Okay, I mean, it's doable, right? I'm not trying to kill anyone's dream.
but chances are, it's not a realistic goal.
It's not a realistic goal. I mean, have you prepared for it? Have you done anything? And then, they're going to fail, and they're going to say, well, I tried. And they'll be able to sleep at night because they just lied to themselves. They can lie to themselves and just sleep at night. It's comforting. I tried.
Yeah.
I can go to bed. Nah. You set yourself up for failure so that you could quit and feel good about quitting.
It's a cop-out.
It's a cop-out. Don't let yourself off easy. Be hard on yourself. Be your worst critic. I call myself a bitch all the time.
Just to man up even more, huh?
Yeah. I mean, you acting like a bitch. You need to get up, or you need to do this, or bro, I'm my hardest critic.
Well, that's awesome, bro. Before we get out of here, man, tell the audience where they can find you, where they can find more information on the cause, the organization, the film, and everything that you're involved in.
Man, all right, get your pen and papers ready. The film, like you said, it's called 45 Days. The Fight for a Nation. We're submitting it to the Oscars and everything. Just keep your eyes open for it. It's out in North Hollywood right now, showing at the Laemmle theaters. And then, God willing, it'll be on streaming services soon. So just keep your eyes open for that. Next up, we have the nonprofit organization. Like I said, the whole purpose of it is, we gather funds, and then we find, families out there that have been displaced or lost a soldier, and we give them money so they can, pay their bills, eat food, rent, things like that, so they can survive because their breadwinner is gone, Then, we have my company, which is called Goliath Graphics. You can go to the website, goliathgraphics.com. But graphics is spelled GRAFFIX.com. That's GRAFFIX.com. And then lastly, we have the whiskey, which I'm sold out anyway. But, the first batch we did sold out. The beautiful thing about it was that came up with the whole concept because I needed to do more fundraising efforts to get more funds back to Armenia. So the whole purpose was because this is what I was preaching to my people. I was saying, look, Glendale was nothing before we went there. Before it got all these Armenians over there. Glendale's like this, super rich city now. Why? Because of our population. Yeah. Our people over there, the businesses that we run and all this stuff. We didn't bring that money with us. We built it. Yeah. Yeah. And so I'm like, our dollar is powerful. Yeah. We have a powerful dollar. So you got to keep your dollar in our circle for as long as we can to get it back to Armenia, to help with whatever, because if it isn't for the diaspora, man, Armenia will be gone. You know what I mean?
I love it. Yeah. You're absolutely right. Absolutely.
So I was like, all right, well, what can I get out of, where are we leaking a lot of money? I was like, man, alcohol, right? Well, Armenians drink. Yeah. Crazy. So,
but you had to provide a solution.
Yeah. I was like,
some of that back.
Yeah. So I developed the whiskey. Number one, it stays in our circle. Number two, I'm going to donate $20 from every bottle that's sold back to a nonprofit that people can vote on, Yeah. But that's called Goliath, the Great Whiskey, and you can find that you can just check it out, GoliathWhiskey.com.
GoliathWhiskey.com. Well, man, thanks, Fred. I swear to God, man, you are absolutely a wealth of knowledge and experience in not just business, but activism too, because your story is pretty much the story of how it really gets started. See, a lot of people think that, they wake up, their folks wake up and say, I'm going to help the world, I'm going to save the world, I'm going to do that. But really, the biggest activists are born just the way you were born. It's like they didn't have no desire to save anything, probably save some money, and make some money, but it just happens, and you never know how you'll be called upon. But it comes quicker when you're doing stuff. When you're actually in business, when you take that first step and have that hope and see yourself doing something, and then, like you say, the questions and the requests will come. Can you do this? Can you do that? Can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? And then you'll find a life, and then you'll find a purpose. That's why I think entrepreneurship is so important, because it helps a lot of people find something much more than money, and that's a life.
I like that. That's deep.
Seriously, but I appreciate the interview, Fred, man. You are awesome. If you guys want to check him out, man, check him out. Goliath Graphics, the Miaseen.org, Goliath, the Great Whiskey, and especially check out the film 45 Days, Fight for a Nation, man. And yeah, a lot of great stuff, man. This brother is awesome. No,
I appreciate
thank you,
Jason, man. We go back a long time, man. You've always been a stand-up dude. And I love seeing your hustle, man. You've always been at it, so I commend you. I got much respect for you, bro. I always tried to support you any way I could, man. So,
and likewise, brother. And I'm glad that this is a way that we can finally come together and actually create this connection that does something for somebody else. I'm glad.
I hope, man, help somebody.
Oh, I'm sure you did, because I'm glad that you had a wealth of stuff to tap into. Because, like I said, just as a business owner, you are always going to give so much value. But with that flip side of activism and giving back and just finding that naturally, I think more people will be touched and relate to that story. And I think a lot of people are looking for ways to give back, but they don't know how. They don't know that giving back is as easy as being them. Do what they love to do.
Yeah.
But not do it for a cause.
Yeah. Yep. And that's what a lot of Armenians did, bro. They some people, man, they got their kids together and they were making like little, like brochets and pins and things like that and selling them at swap meets and then donating that money.
Man.
Everyone was doing whatever it is that came in their wheelhouse. Whatever it is that they were good at, that's what they used, Oscar was a movie producer. He produced the documentary.
Man.
Everyone's doing their thing, man. We have people in the military, U.S. military, going over there and trying to train up the dudes, U.S. style, We got engineers trying to develop new toys that could be used over there. You know what I mean?
It's all about doing what, like you say, your passion is. And using your passion to give back. It's not giving back is as easy as doing what you love. And I say that to people all the time because some people think they got to learn a new skill or they got to get into volunteering and stuff that they don't do and don't like. And it's not that at all. It's what do you already love doing? And how can you do that for someone else?
Bro, let's say you're just good at, let's say you play basketball. You're good at basketball, right? Mm-hmm. You could go to the park and train up some kids.
Absolutely.
Mentor some kids, for example.
Absolutely.
Next thing you know, you got 3, 4, 5 kids. Next thing you know, you can start charging. Next thing you know, you got a whole camp going.
Exactly. And there's always a way. Like I just love that mentality because with that thought process, you always see an opportunity. You can always see an avenue. An avenue for stuff to happen and to provide value because that's what you're doing. You're providing value to other people. And I think a lot of people don't see the value in themselves because they never tried to provide value before. And I think once you get into that service arena, just like you did, you see that you are more valuable than you ever thought. If you volunteer one time, and like you said, it doesn't matter what you do. You ain't got to save a country. You don't have to save the world. You can save one kid. And I think we try to, just like you said about losing weight, we try to take on so much at one time, in our minds that we don't really see that all we got to do is give back to one person. Help that one kid, train that one person, help that one guy find a skill. Help that one guy get a job. Help that one kid make it out of high school. Whatever it is, it's like we got to think small sometimes. It's good to think big, but
one person's life. Listen, if you change one person's life, it's not one person's life you're changing. You're changing that person's family's life. You're changing that person's future family's life. You have now changed generations. It's the butterfly effect.
Man.
You get what I'm saying?
You hit it on the head, bro.
It's the butterfly effect.
What happened? I think we lost Fred. Did we lose you?
I just got stories for days. I'll let you cut out. I'm not trying to take up all your time.
Oh, no thing. I think we lost you for a second, but that's okay. That's a great place to stop. I'm going to cut you off right there and put you on mute. And I want to say that was a great interview with Mr. Tatlyan. Much love for the documentary, 45 Days, a fight for a nation. Much love, the Goliath graphics, the Goliath, the great whiskey that's doing great things also. And the Miaseen Organization, man. If you don't know, learn. If you don't know, ask somebody, man. Like I said, it's all about bridging these gaps, creating connections so we can understand that we have more in common than we do differences. So anyway, I love y'all. That's our time. We went over, but it was a great wealth of information, so we don't mind going over it, man. We don't answer to nobody. We're our own boss. Anyway, I love y'all. Remember that success is a lifestyle, and see y'all later. Life of a Boss.
Did anything stand out to you in today's show? If so, let us know. Your questions, comments, and concerns are important to Jason, as he is determined to always deliver to you only the most impactful information and content. Until next time, please subscribe, like, comment, share, and leave a review whenever possible. you may visit lifeofaboss.net for more episodes and great resources to help you become the absolute boss that you were meant to be. You can also follow Jason on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Hardin. Thank you. And to never forget that success is a lifestyle.